Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special battlefield report. Mr. Putin's birthday this year is one he'll never forget. Just 30 hours later, one of Russia's two largest European ammo depots lit up the sky with a grand spectacle. In the silent early hours of October 9th, 12 Ukrainian drones successfully attacked the ammo depot near the small town of Karachev in Bryansk Oblast. North Korean rockets, artillery shells, and aerial glide bombs detonated, piercing the night sky. The dazzling flames turned night into day. Subsequent shins shook the entire Bryansk region, reducing this giant ammo-inducing depot to ashes. Andriy Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's National Security Council's Anti-Disinformation Center, said on Telegram that this depot belongs to the Russian Defense Ministry's main missile and artillery directorate, Grau serial number 67, about 114 km from the Ukrainian border. Let's zoom in on this AME depot. Reports indicate it's about 4 square kilometers. The buildings are wooden structures. You can't spot modern warehouses on Google Earth. The red circle marks large open-air ammo storage surrounded by a small earthen wall. The blue circle shows buildings and wooden warehouses possibly containing discarded packaging or ammo boxes. The orange circle is where missiles and glide bombs are stored. In other words, the site has 90 wooden ammo warehouses plus numerous open-air storage areas. At full capacity, it can store up to 22,000 tons of ammunition, mainly rockets, howitzer shells, and missiles, mostly from Iran and North Korea. If we estimate 10,000 tons stored, a single 300mm Smerch rocket weighs 840 kg, and a 122mm Grad rocket weighs 70 kg. This attack is equivalent to destroying 12,300mm rockets or 150,000 122mm rockets. Even at discounted prices, a Russian 300mm rocket costs about 1 million yuan, and a 122mm rocket, even if from North Korea, wouldn't be less than 50,000 yuan. Russian-made ones are 100,000 to 200,000 yuan, so this stash is worth around 10 billion yuan. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that air defense forces shot down 47 Ukrainian drones, but 12 drones broke through. And even if 60 drones participated, costing 200,000 yuan each, the total cost wouldn't exceed 12 million yuan. Putin is really generous, spending 1 billion yuan on fireworks, just like that. Ukraine's 12 million yuan investment blew up 1 billion yuan of Russian ammo theft, more profitable than that. What a spectacular win. Then this incident follows similar attacks in September when Ukrainian forces struck 2 large ammo depots in Russia's Tver and Krasnodar regions. On September 21st, the ammo depot near Tikhoritsk and Krasnodar, one of Moscow's 3 major ammo storage bases, was attacked. Earlier on September 18th, Ukrainian kamikaze drones hit an ammo depot northeast of Toropets in Bryansk Oblast. This was considered Kiev's most severe long-range attack in 30 months, and possibly Russia's most destructive airstrike ever. All the ammunition stored there, originally intended against NATO, went up in flames. The Bryansk depot, destroyed on October 9th, wasn't even taken out during WWII when occupied by German forces. During the Soviet era, it was directly controlled by Moscow, a key military arsenal. In this war that may lead to Russia's collapse, it was blown into a fireball. Ironic, isn't it? And this attack happened right after Putin's birthday. Clearly, Ukraine gave war criminal Putin a belated birthday gift, letting the Russian army face a cold winter with a shortage of shells. This humorous yet hopeful message conveys people's longing for peace. The October 9th already, the fire at the Crimean oil depot, ignited by Ukrainian drones 2 days ago, is still burning. It's a replay of the Rostov oil depot fire from late August, which burned for over 10 days. At this rate, the Crimea fire might burn for several more days. It's clear Ukraine is increasingly interested in Russia's oil depots. Over the past year, Ukrainian drones mainly targeted refineries with a few drones. Now, things have changed. Why? Previously, Ukraine didn't attack oil depots not because they didn't want to or didn't know it was more effective, but because they didn't have enough drones. Attacking oil depots is different from refineries. For refineries, blowing up the distillation tower forces the plant. To shut down a few drones suffice. But oil depots require hitting each storage tank, and there are many. You need enough drones and some to distract Russia's air defenses. Otherwise, the main drones won't reach the target. Now, Ukraine's drone fleet has grown, producing 350,000 in September with enhanced capabilities. New drones can fly 2,500 km, enough to reach Moscow and return. This scale allows Ukraine to execute full oil tank coverage. Attacking oil depots is effective. While the explosions aren't as spectacular as ammo depots, oil depots can burn for a long time, sometimes over 10 days. Black smoke fills the sky, and the pungent smell lingers. Russian civilians see this and wonder what's Putin doing. Can he handle this? Looks like the Kremlin's team is skating on thin ice, Putin's grip on power. Not looking too stable. Rebuilding oil depots is much harder and costlier than fixing a distillation tower. When an oil depot burns, it burns completely. Rebuilding destroyed tanks is tough. A refinery can resume work after repairing the distillation tower. For frontline Russian troops, fewer oil depots mean tighter fuel and lubricant supplies. Tanks and armored vehicles are hit hardest. Logistics suffer too. Rail and road transport need fuel. If Russian logistics falter, not just the frontline cannon fodder, but even battalion and brigade commanders might wonder what's next. Savvy officers might consider waving the white flag. How can the Russian army continue fighting? On a deeper level, these attacks threaten Putin's regime stability. Repeated hits on oil depots make fuel storage and transport big problems. Domestic fuel supply suffers, affecting civilians. Daily life is impacted. Public dissatisfaction grows, direct threatening trust in Putin and the regime's stability. The rising oil prices and shortages hurt more than any propaganda. Ukraine's attacks aren't just military strikes, they have psychological and economic effects. Each burning oil tank silently exposes Russia's internal fragility and external incompetence. Ukraine's drone forces are burning oil tanks one by one. Eventually, the Russian front line's fuel supply will be in chaos and Putin's regime could topple at any moment. In this tragic and absurd international crisis, the evil alliance between Russia and North Korea is getting more ridiculous. Latest plot twist: on October 8th, South Korea's defense minister revealed that North Korea might send regular troops to support Russia. Last year, North Korean engineers already entered Ukraine to build defenses for the Russian army. Now, North Korea's combat troops seem ready to test their luck on the battlefield. The drama intensifies. North Korea's participation isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Sending combat troops appears to be their real plan. It's a blatant exchange. Russia offers nuclear and missile technology in return for North Korean cannon fodder. Clearly, Putin is desperate, determined to win this war by continuously sacrificing Russian soldiers, but the Russian public is waking up, unwilling to keep paying for this hopeless war. If conscription continues, Putin's regime might collapse, and so he brings in North Korean cannon fodder to stain the war, selling outdated missile tech in the process. Can North Korea's involvement really change the tide? Western netizens scoff, saying a bunch of starving North Korean soldiers who've never faced real combat won't last long. Indeed, according to the Kyiv Post, on October 30, Ukrainian missile strike killed 6 North Korean officers and injured 3. That these are engineers not even on the front lines, yet they suffered heavy casualties. And now North Korea wants to send combat troops, so they'll be even more dangerous. They'll become a new laughingstock in international media. The more Russia and North Korea act recklessly, the more Western citizens see the war's true nature and potential dangers. Facing their aggressive moves, Western netizens are calling for decisive action, urging leaders to warn these villains enough is enough or face serious consequences. If the entire Western public realizes the threat Russia's invasion poses to their future, this consensus will push governments to increase support for Ukraine. That's all for today's special report. Thanks for reporting, folks. Stay tuned for more of Russia's fine military comedy. And don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of chaos.